Very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we continue to give you the latest trending news in the nation of Zimbabwe, particularly the political side of stories in the nation of Zimbabwe. President Emmerson Mnangagwa, according to the Standard Zimbabwe, is clashed with the ZANU PF spokesperson Christopher Mutsvangwa's allies over the deployment of the shadowy FAZ to coordinate the ruling party's restructuring exercise, further straining their sour relations. This is what is happening, and we need to explain what is really happening. So last month, that is in April, the political committee of ZANU PF, Mike Bima, announced that ZANU PF was going to embark on a national restructuring exercise. And this exercise, it will start directly from the cells, that is the village. This cell is almost like the village in terms of ZANU PF structure. From the village, then they'll go to what they call the branches. Then from the branches, they go to what they call districts. From what they call districts, they continue to go upward, just like that. So this is what is happening. There are people who are perceived to be enemies of the current president. These are the people who they want to remove from the party structures. So this exercise is supposed to be led by Forever Associates of Zimbabwe, FAZ, which is allegedly led by the CIO. And we all know that the president of FAZ is believed to be a son to a deputy CIO director. So this is what is happening. They've planned to make sure that they remove all people who would cause resistance to the third term of President Emmerson Mnangagwa. And in doing so, Christopher Mutsvangwa, who has become very, very, very important within the ZANU PF structures in terms of stopping President Emmerson Mnangagwa, is actually resisting this move. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga seems to be neutralized and seems to be failing to contain the situation, and is actually thinking of something else. Elvis, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for joining us. So what is happening is so amazing, Team Zimbabwe, to an extent. These people are now directly confronting each other. The information at hand is that Christopher Mutsvangwa has become so popular, very strong, well-funded, and well-connected within some very important cycles in Zimbabwe. To an extent that if Christopher Mutsvangwa calls for something, it happens. That is the reason why they had to touch Neville Mutsvangwa in a bid to try and silence him. But I'm told that he is refusing to be silenced, and he is actually continuously targeting and challenging ED Mnangagwa through his proxies across Zimbabwe. Here is the information. Things are happening in the villages or in the at the cell level, and MDC chairpersons are involved in all this. They've literally stopped FAZ across Zimbabwe, the rural areas of Zimbabwe. MDCC chairpersons or MDCC members, they've stopped FAZ to actually be part of the exercise. And right now, they are now seeking intervention of President Emmerson Mnangagwa to intervene such that he gives a command or he sends some people, some boys, to actually deal with the DCC chairpersons. My DCC chairperson, Akonzeresa, kwese kwa kungoenda, FAZ is being told to go to hell. So what is happening is they want to replace those who have worked for the party for a very long time. They replace them with people without a history of the party. That is what the DCC is actually saying. We cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow to have new people who have never been part of ZANU PF for a very long time. Then you come with them and you impose them on us. And what is happening is these are people who are well embedded into the people, who are connected in the people. What are they doing? They are refusing to call for meetings. This is strategic. When Team FAZ is involved or is available at the meeting, DCC chairpersons are asked to msanga. So a lot of questions are being asked. Who is actually behind all this? And Christopher Mnangagwa is actually funding all the activities and actually has sent foot soldiers onto the ground. But what is of concern right now, Team Zimbabwe, is that there is now a confrontation in terms of security cycles. This is the information at hand. There is now a confrontation. There's parts of the security cycles who are actually standing in solidarity with the chairpersons who are there, who are backed by Mnangagwa. And the other one, faction of the security sector, is actually coming. And this is causing a clash. And after that clash, you are seeing the security sector backing FAZ, backtracking. Because they know the implications of this. They know the consequences. That once my DCC starts to reject Emmerson Mnangagwa, it will be disaster all over. Everywhere you go, it will be disaster. So you can actually see that Christopher Mnangagwa has become more popular right now. And as things are right now, it seems as if Christopher Mnangagwa is becoming more powerful. The major question is, who is actually backing Christopher Mnangagwa and who is actually giving Christopher Mnangagwa this power to do whatever he wants within ZANU PF? It seems as if he's actually calling the shots. He's actually calling the shots and is now in full control. How is this happening? The other accused person is Obert Mpofu. Obert Mpofu has also been accused because he is the Secretary for Administration, which means without Obert Mpofu, things will not work for Team FAZ because there are areas where they are limited. Imagine a clash with the opposition. FAZ clash and opposition. You clash ZANU. Imagine what will happen. That will lead to the people within the opposition uniting with the people within ZANU PF. How are they going to deal with Emmerson Mnangagwa? They will simply allow the opposition to do the meetings. And the DCC chairpersons are actually threatening to take people to the opposition, led by Nelson Chamisa. These are the things which they're threatening to say, if you continue with what you are doing, we are going to go to the people, with the people to the opposition. Once they've done that, then it will be a disadvantage for Emmerson Mnangagwa, because the moment you will try to come and coerce people to continue supporting ZANU PF, he is not going to find anybody. They don't have any connection with the masses in the villages, and that will jeopardize the whole operation in Mnangagwa. So you can actually see that 2030 Mnangagwa operation at this moment in time has been put in suspense. It's something which is no longer definite. They do not even know. Leon, thank you very much for being here. Gogo Leon, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for following us. So you can actually see that this is what is happening. It's something else. It's something which is becoming more interesting to actually note, that without the masses, without the support base, then there is no ZANU PF to talk about. So I believe that this is strategic, and it all started soon after the elections, when Emmerson Mnangagwa appointed his team, his friends and everything else. People started to move away. And for sure, Mnangagwa is in trouble, Mnangagwa is in problem. And we are going to watch and see how this is going to unfold, because it seems as if there are people within the security cycles who are actually working with Christopher Mnangagwa. The major question which those in authority could not answer is, why is General Chiwenga right now not in Zimbabwe? What is he planning? What meetings is he attending? Those are the questions which are being asked within ZANU PF. And the message has quickly spread about how General Chiwenga has left Zimbabwe, and it has spread to the villages to an extent that you could actually understand there is the happiness, there is jubilation in terms of some things. So within ZANU PF itself, Mnangagwa will continue to deny the fact that things are no longer well, but maintaining a brave face does not mean you are fixing or you are solving things. So this is the standard reporting this issue. This is not an issue which is coming from someone's head. This is an issue right direct from the standard itself. And you can actually see that it's a moment of madness in resting ahead. One weakness of Christopher Mutsvangwa is when he opens his mouth and he starts to talk, then you have to know that there is trouble. You know that definitely there is trouble, and Mnangagwa just knows that it's better to have Christopher Mutsvangwa within than to have Christopher Mutsvangwa without. So this is the limitation of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, which means it is going to be very difficult for him to maneuver. What kind of people is Mnangagwa working with? This is another thing. It's something which is very important. Mnangagwa is working with new people, completely new people, recruited by his team. They've discarded ZANU PF veterans. They've discarded them. They've benefited nothing. Wherever Mnangagwa is going, you are seeing Chivayo is there. That is a direct replacement of some key people within ZANU PF. They are now being given preference over everybody else. So if you take a look on these young boys, small boys, who are making money, who are being given access to President Mnangagwa, and who have been given preference to President Mnangagwa, it's shocking that the veterans of ZANU PF have been left out, and they are actually failing to understand what is happening. So they've been left out with nothing, and they've resorted to actually start fighting Emmerson Mnangagwa. That is the reason why you see the opposition base is growing. As each day passes, the opposition base in rural areas is fast growing. This is the reality. This is the truth. The opposition is growing like never before, especially in the rural areas. I can tell you in very, very remote areas, the opposition is actually growing. So that is the cause of concern to Emmerson Mnangagwa, because the threats which are being sent by this team Mutsvangwa, these are not empty threats. This is the reality. And there is intel that indeed the opposition is closing the vacuum. Then we have an issue of El Nino. Gorerino kunenzara. ZANU PF is actually failing to make sure that everybody gets something. So remember, because of corruption, what comes and what goes to the people, according to ZANU PF idea, the less than 50% must go to the people and they take the rest. Which means right now they are in trouble because you don't even know who is going to distribute food to the people. And with this PVO bill which is there, it has become a disaster to the governance of Emmerson Mnangagwa. And Christopher Mutsvangwa's team is actually moving around. That is the problem which is there. What is the reason of them doing so? They want to weaken Emmerson Mnangagwa and just to show Emmerson Mnangagwa that we have power. And it's happening. I can tell you there are confirmations which we have received. It's just that sometimes we don't just come with some videos or some audios to show the people what is actually happening, since we don't want to victimize some people involved in these things. But I can tell you that Nelson Chamisa is now becoming more powerful and powerful and powerful. Credit to what Christopher Mutsvangwa is actually doing, because he's decimating ZANU PF left, right, and center, and is actually threatening to do more if they fire him from ZANU PF. So it's not known, Kuti, where is Chris Mutsvangwa standing? And given the relations between China and Emmerson Mnangagwa's government, then there is problem. There is trouble everywhere. The relationship is turned sour. The relationship is so bad. And one of the key allies of Emmerson Mnangagwa is out, the Iranian president. That is the reason why they are mourning, they are crying. Emmerson Mnangagwa and this team, they're actually not happy. They are devastated. One of their key allies is gone, which means they will have to build new relations with the new president who is coming. So that is the problem in Zimbabwe. They will need to build another political relationship with the new president of Iran. And it will take a long time, because even if the vice president takes over, in 50 days, a new president must be elected in Iran. And it depends on what the Ayatollah, the supreme leader of Iran, decides. What if he decides to bring somebody who is going to start focusing on other things and not on Zimbabwe? Remember, they have their own problems in Israel, which means Zimbabwe has become inferior in all these things. So it's becoming interesting, and we'll continue to watch and see if Mnangagwa is going to maneuver and pass this through. So as we said before, the exercise, the restructuring exercise is supposed started this month, this May. It actually started and is going on within various areas and various places across Zimbabwe. And, you know, it is going to be a very interesting moment, because FAZ has been blocked so far. We wait to see how they are going to outmaneuver FAZ, Mutsvangwa, and how they're actually going to embed FAZ again. But just know that Mutsvangwa is not working alone. Mutsvangwa is working with a set of organized people who started a campaign against Emmerson Mnangagwa soon after the elections. These are very powerful people, well-connected people, well-protected people working against Emmerson Mnangagwa. What should Emmerson Mnangagwa do? The only way out is to talk to Nelson Chamisa. The only way out is to have dialogue with Nelson Chamisa. That is the only way he's going to have a soft landing. Without that, then forget about Emmerson Mnangagwa. It's a matter of time. We will see what is going to happen in Zimbabwe. And given what happened in DRC, they are shocked, and they do not even trust anybody at this moment in time. Manje mapurisa nematizira ari kuita basa. You would think kuti maybe pamwe pane ari kuti siyai basa muye kuno. Just imagine, guys, kuti hakuna mabasa, and mapurisa ari kusiya basa. Vazhinji vari kusiya basa. You would think kuti kune munhu ari kuti siyai mabasa muye kuno tikurukurutei. You would end up thinking that. So this is what is being taught as we speak right now. This is the message yakatumwa kuna Matanga. Zvikanzi Matanga, vanhu vako havasi vakuda kutengesa here. Who is recruiting them? Go and investigate and find out. But they will never find out, because the people they are actually dealing with are very intelligent people who have been underpaid for a very long time, and they do not care. They no longer care. So everybody wants change. If I tell you what is happening within the police force, what is happening within the military, you understand that madhara aya akaita kubatirira nekashinda. So ukaona kashinda ikako kakangodambuka chete, pray for a general to survive. I do not know which general, but pray for a general to survive. If that general fails to survive, then there will be trouble in Zimbabwe. There is only one person who is actually making Emmerson Mnangagwa survive and survive far much longer. If that person, if something happens to that person, then no, good, Emmerson Mnangagwa is out, and it's out for good. It is what it is. We'll continue to watch and see what is happening. Who is going to win in between Christopher Mutsvangwa and Emmerson Mnangagwa? This is the report from the Standard. It says President Emmerson Mnangagwa clashed with the ZANU PF spokesperson Christopher Mutsvangwa's allies over the deployment of the shadowy FAZ to coordinate the ruling party's restructuring exercise, further straining their sour relations. So we wait to see what is going to happen next.